Hello. I can't hear you, Sarah. Oh, you're muted. Hello, Melinda. I'm so glad you could join, Melinda.
It's muting everybody on entry.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
just click unmute.
There we go. All right, Carrie, I just unmuted you. Hi, Deanne. Oh, hello, everybody. I'm so excited you're all here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, good.
Very good. Well, welcome everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started right away. I'm Tammy Boley, for those of you who have not met me before, and this is my daughter Carmen, and we work together holistic coaching and just really walking people through whatever their journey is. And today we are so blessed and excited to have Carrie Luke on the call with us. And Carrie is, what would you say, the expert resource that we have.
She is a guru. She is a wise woman.
Yes, but all the tricks. A kind woman too.
She is so giving of her time and so generous. She pours into us constantly.
Yes.
We have questions and she's there. She's got the answers. We so appreciate her.
Yes.
Thank you. You guys are too sweet.
So Carrie, we're going to be talking about the Rich Way Biomat today. And would you start out by telling us, go ahead.
One quick thing for those of you who are not familiar with Zoom. Right now we have everybody auto muted so that we're not picking up background noise so that you can hear Carrie teaching really easily. But if you have a question, just go and there is a chat bar and you can chat in there and then we can unmute you if you want to talk and ask your questions and everything. So just pop that in the chat, and also keep aware that usually the video auto starts. So if you are planning to go and use the restroom or something, just be aware and unvideo yourself.
just stop video or leave your phone.
Or leave your phone
wherever.
there. I say this because there have been incidents.
Unfortunate incidents.
Yeah. So that is why I am making this little warning and caveat before we begin, just so you are aware of these things.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Very good. Okay, so Carrie, would you start out by telling us a little bit about your story, how you got started with Rich Way, and then I'm just going to give you the floor and let you cover the things that we have talked about previously. Sound good?
Yes, thanks, girls. So I've been working with Rich Way for 14 years now. I got started quite by accident when I went to my best friend's house, who happened to be a graphic artist, for her to do a logo. And she had all these purple documents scattered across her table. She worked from home. Being a nosy girlfriend, you start looking at it. And I asked her what it was. She goes, "Oh my God, you have to try this." So she knew my issue was sleep. It was the middle of the afternoon. She marched me back to her room and said, "I want you to take a nap." And I just looked at her and she goes, "Nope, just lie here." Well, within instances, I was sound asleep. When I woke up 25 minutes later, it was a profound experience for me, because I had, since I was a child, never been able to fall asleep. It takes me hours. I would lie there, your brain won't turn off. Well, this woman had come through town marketing the Biomat. She had been driving all over the country and finally decided she wanted a brochure written about the Biomat so that she could talk about it more easily and leave information behind. And she had randomly selected Gail out of the yellow pages in Gainesville, Florida. It was a random chance. And it was just history from there. And I'm sure as you guys get more and more involved, and you might have experienced this with the oils already too, the people that come into your life, it's very serendipitous, and it's a wonderful miracle, and it's so fun. So hence, that's where my journey with the Biomat started. But like with all good new things you get, if you're busy, the item comes that you've ordered that you're all excited about, you open it up, take a peek, and put it aside and forget about it. Well, I was in the middle of remodeling my home, so for 6 months, it sat in a corner, and Gail finally asked me, she goes, "So how's the Biomat going for you?" And I looked at her very sheepishly and told her it was still in boxes, and she commanded me to take it out. So 6 months after I bought it, and this is not unusual for people, I finally took it out and started using it religiously, and it's been a miracle ever since for me. I fall asleep within 5 minutes or less now, particularly on the Oregon mat. every night for 14 years, sleep like a baby, get up feeling so good. And if you've been sleep deprived, which I didn't know that I was, because that was normal for me, you have no idea what that feels like when you experience that. Well, along the way, all these other wonderful things started happening too for myself with my Biomat experience. You get it for one thing, but it brings all these other lovely things into balance in your body. It literally wants to bring your body into homeostasis. And for everybody, that's going to be different. Everybody is bringing different issues to the mat. They are attracted to it for one thing, but all these other things come into balance and line up for them. For me, I lost 10 pounds. I had been struggling with trying to lose for years because, you get to a certain age and you can't lose it very easily. I became more flexible. I had a weak lower back. That started to improve. So all these different things started happening for me. I had more energy. And you'll find that that happens very frequently with many people. Many people are going to ask you, well, will it work for this issue or this ailment? Many ailments share the same symptoms. And it's just a name that we're ascribing to symptoms that come in different shapes and forms. And we all respond to them differently, just like we all respond to medications differently. That's why they make many medications for one thing. They make a lot of oils for many different, that will fit for many different things. You have to find the one that harmonizes with your body. So one of those things is going to work for you. And thus it's like that with the Biomat. So you'll find throughout your journey, and that was my experience with it, and how I first got attracted to it. But what happened then, when you get excited about something and something's working for you, you want to share it with your family and friends. And here's my tale about sharing and selling. People say, I'm not a salesperson. I don't know how to sell. I don't want to sell. None of us sell the Biomat. None of us. Everybody I know who's successful with it merely shared it. Customers who just bought it for themselves, shared it with their friends, got so excited about it. Because when you find something that works, you want your whole family to feel good and you want your friends to feel good. So all I did was I started sharing it with my friends, who had expressed to me different issues. And I said, well, I've got this mat. Why don't you try it? It worked for me. Who knows? And I give it to them, and they too would just have an amazing experience with it. And that's how it starts. You're not selling, you're merely sharing. And so in conversation over the years, what happened was I eventually retired from my real job, which was in corporate management, sales and customer service, and stayed home to take care of my mother. So I was on the go a lot on doctor's appointments and everything. So you start to see a lot of different practitioners, and you're listening and you're sharing information with them. And I would tell them about the Biomat or ask them if it was okay for my mother to use, and they would inquire about it. So it's merely putting it out on the table in a very soft way. It's not an affront to people because nobody wants to be sold to. And you're letting them ask you about it. So, and I also then would take it to the people that I saw, like when I go for a massage or acupuncture, or even the gal who cut my hair. I would bring it along and say, I heard this mat gives you a really great experience while you're delivering your service. Do you mind if I put it on your table or put it in your chair so I can see what the effect is? And they'd say, sure. And then they'd start asking questions. It's that easy and it's that simple. If they say no, no big deal. But if they say yes, it's a door that's opened and they're intrigued. So there's many different ways that you can work with the Biomat, sharing it with your friends and family, sharing it with the service providers and practitioners that you're working with currently. My favorite way to do it, because I'm in sales, was doing professional trade shows. So I did tons, both Gail and I did tons of trade shows the first 5 years, professional medical trade shows and conferences and seminars, health seminars. We started just in Florida and then we expanded it to the whole country. And so we actually helped Richway brand their product. So you have to find the way that works best for you, that brings you the most joy, and that you have the most fun and puts a smile on your face. You don't have to sell the mat. You don't even have to share it, because people will even ask you, God, you look great, or what are you doing differently? And then it'll come up in conversation that way. It also comes up in conversation when you're just being a good listener. That's the best thing, being an active listener to friends, acquaintances, or total strangers in conversation that you have in passing when you're standing in line. You never know where you're going to be when you're, at a party where you're just meeting friends and they're complaining about an ache or pain or something that's going on in their family. And you just sit there and listen. And then you can just merely say, I have something that worked for me. I'm happy to share it with you if you'd like. Would you like, I'll loan it to you. You can try it for yourself or your friend or family. They can say yes or no. It's not an affront. And then just leave it there. You don't have to say anything more. So you let the person ask you the questions, and then they become more interested, and they don't feel like they're being attacked or sold. Again, nobody wants to be sold to.
When someone does ask you a question, what are the talking points that you usually share with them that keep you within the compliant language for biomats?
Right. You can never say that it will heal, cure, or that you can stop taking your medication. You can never associate it with an illness's name or a disease's name directly, with the exception of arthritis, because we are FDA approved for arthritis, pain management. But what I say when people say, well, what is it? And I say, well, it's this lovely device that you can either sleep on or take a nap on. It's a mat. It has 9 temperature settings, 1 with no heat, 8 with heat, so you can adjust it to your liking. And what it does is it's all natural. It brings your body into homeostasis by oxygenating your blood, increasing the blood flow because it enhances your microcirculation, softening the connective tissue and reducing inflammation of the joints. So it's doing all these things for you. It helps sleep and manage pain. There's 3 components to it: infrared, negative ions, and amethyst crystal. And then I'll tell them the crystal is actually amplifying the frequency so that it goes deep into the body, 4 to 6 inches. That's why you get such good results. Infrared is used in many applications that practitioners have at their fingertips: infrared saunas, infrared lamps. But with the amethyst crystal, that's able to amplify the frequency because of the way the crystal grows. It's all natural, and we use amethyst because its frequency is most in line with the human body's frequency. So it's very easy for the body to absorb. It's not fighting it. It absorbs it very quickly. And amethyst crystal has lots of infrared and negative ions, all naturally, all on its own. So if you didn't even turn it on, you're going to get infrared and negative ions. Now, some people, right when you start talking, you just give them the very little tidbits. If you know the person, if you know they're the person that likes all the little details like me, then you just keep going until their eyes look kind of googly. If it's somebody you don't really know, you just tell them, it's got 3 components to it: infrared, negative ions, and crystals that are amplifying the frequency so that it goes deep into your body. And that's why it's such an effective tool, because saunas and lamps only go about 1.5 to 2 inches. So you're getting 2 to 3 times the penetration, so it's affecting every organ.
That's excellent. Are we muted? No, that's excellent. I love that. When I've been talking about the mat, I've only talked about the far infrared and the negative ions. I have never added that crystal component in there because I didn't understand how to speak correctly about it. So this is fantastic information.
Now,
it's a matter of, talking about it without it sounding like woo-woo crystals.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to say, exactly. And so what I will very quickly then do, I say, people think crystals are woo-woo, but science has used it for generations in all our technology, because all crystals are very electric, and they're a wonderful conductor of energy, and they all run at different frequencies. So they use different crystals for different components. Amethyst is known for its infrared ability. So it's not something that's alien. This is a topic that if somebody is deeply religious or something, you might not want to tell them about the crystals up front initially because they might feel it's an affront to their beliefs. So you can just let them know, that it's infrared and negative ions. Later on, as you talk to them, they want to know how it works. Why is it penetrating so deeply? You can tell them. And most importantly, this is science-based. The Biomat is an FDA-approved Class 2 medical device. It's a 510K medical device. We've gone through rigorous testing, and this is all based on science. So it's not something that is just kind of a wishful thing thrown together.
Something that's pretty.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful to the eye. And that's why there's that little stripe along the side on the professional and the mini, because it's eye candy. It's pretty, and people can see. And generally what I do is I will take my finger and run across the channel and explain to them, it's just not in the strip. This entire surface is covered with crystals. So you're laying on an even bed of crystals, amplifying the frequencies evenly throughout your body. And you can feel the little bumpies if you go across the channels, so they know that it's full all the way across. Now I'll tell you, the Queen and King and the single mat, the whole surface is that clear. So it looks like you're in fantasy land. It's beautiful. It's just stunning.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you know what? The cotton on the top is all natural, and it's actually a much more durable surface.
Right.
So, particularly for practitioners and chairs when you're getting on and off, and so that's why it works for that.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so we, as a habit, like to share the Biomat ebook with everybody that contacts us about the Biomat. So what things could we learn from you that aren't necessarily included in the book? Okay.
So after years of using the mat and listening to other distributors, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're good.
Okay. And getting other distributors' feedbacks, because distributors tell us things every day and how they use it in a different way. One of the most fun things to share is the pillow. People go, do you really need the pillow? And no, you don't really need the pillow, but it's a really handy dandy tool that is a little medicine cabinet all unto itself. The Biomat Professional there's no crystals up at the top where your head is, because we believe in the Ayurvedic practice of cool head, warm body, not good to heat your gray matter. So you want to keep your head cool. The pillow is not plugged in. It has a bioclay Tempur-Pedic core. So the bioclay is emitting infrared already, okay, just the clay component of that filling. But the outer shell has a sleeve that's wrapped around it, filled with the amethyst crystals. Amethyst and tourmaline, alternating channels. We use tourmaline in there and in the mini mat because it's like rocket fuel for amethyst. Tourmaline is the most piezoelectric crystal. It's the most energetic. And because the mini mat is a small surface, and because the pillow is a small surface, it helps push the frequencies out and through your body. When you're on a professional or bigger, your whole body is on it all at once. You're experiencing everything all at once. But now, you're using a smaller device to travel through your whole body. So the tourmaline acts like rocket fuel and helps boost it. Plus, tourmaline is full of negative ions. So it's very cooling. As with all our mats, you can just turn them on. The first click is just negative ions. You can just do a session on negative ions, which we'll talk about later. But negative ions have a very cooling experience. So with the pillow up at the top of your head, it's now keeping your head cooler while the rest of your body is heating up, enabling you to do therapeutic sweats more comfortably, which we'll also talk about. You're basically tricking your body into thinking you're cooler so you can do a little warmer temperatures, which is good for your body. So that's one reason. It keeps your head cool. It's also ergonomically designed. It's got two curves in it, two humps, so you can pick the one that's most comfortable for your neck. I sleep on it for years I have, and I'm a side sleeper too, so you can flip-flop on it. It's no big deal. But it is firm. It's a very firm sleep. You can also, which is so cool, take that wrapping off because it unzips. And you can wrap it around your own smushy pillow if you want, if you don't like the pillow that came with it. So you can use it that way. If you're asthmatic or you're really congested in your chest, you can lay it on top of your chest and you will feel your airways literally open up. It's really cool. You can feel it working. So it works beautifully that way. Also, if you go on long drives in the car and you don't want to take your mini mat with you, which you can also use in the car, well, this is from another distributor. This is so cool. Take that sleeve off, set it in the seat of your car, and drive away. When you get out to fill your car up with gas, if you don't stop except for gas tank fill-ups, you will not be stiff and achy when you get up. It's really quite amazing. I did it myself. I couldn't believe it. I said, nah, no way. I'm a naysayer too. And I did it. I drive to see my sister in Michigan, and there was like a 1,000-mile trip, and I only stopped for gas. So I was amazed at how my hips were working. I didn't have to take a while to straighten out. So that little pillow is really cool. Plus, if you've bruised your leg, you can wrap it around your thigh or your calf. If you twisted it, pulled a muscle, got a bruise, a black and blue mark, you can throw it across your back or your shoulders. You can wrap it around an arm. It's amazing. You can also use it for little ones. With little ones, you have to be very careful about heat, especially infants, because they can't tell you, and their thermostat isn't regulating them yet. It takes a while for that to kick in. So you really shouldn't use the Biomat with newborns or infants. They can be on their mother's chest or something like that, but they could lie on a pillowcase, no problem. So it's a really fun little thing to work with that, along the way you might want to get and try.